Good morning, Monday morning here. I just wanted to go over a few things from our text and clarify a question for the writing assignment for week 7. One thing that is incredible about this book are all the examples of the Pulitzer Prize winning articles. They're incredible. The author has compiled a collection of articles that won this coveted award and that are very well written. And it gives you a chance to take a look at what goes into the effort that goes into writing this type of an article. Sometimes an article like these will be published in a series. So what will happen is a magazine or a newspaper will begin a series and will work the same way that television producers do when they have a series that you watch and you feel like you can't wait for the program to come back on again because you're left with a cliffhanger, so to speak, and you're very curious about the next episode. Well, a series will do the same thing. There's questions in chapter 7 about um, what makes questions regarding writing for a series. And actually, I just want you to glean that information from the book that we've read up until this point. And I'll also give you a few of those that you can integrate into your answer. Basically, when writing a series, you do have to remember that there should be a little suspense involved and that you don't want to give it all away, that you want to bring the writer in to the story. So you definitely want to take a look at your material and break it into, say it's a two-part series, into a situation where the reader can pick it up and understand what's going on, but also may be intrigued to refer back to that other article or to find it online so that they connect the dots together. So, for example, if you know how there are so many television series that are recorded now on many different television systems that you can decide, I'm going to start watching The Office. Well, you could pick up on The Office from year two, season two, the one that came out number third issue, say, or third program, and you get an idea of those characters and what's going on. But what really might happen to you is you might decide, no, I need to go back and watch this entire series because I want to understand how these characters developed, understand the history behind it. Well, it's the same thought with writing the magazine series. The material has to be reviewed, and you decide on placement of important facts. Where are you going to make that break so that it can be picked up on in the next issue that comes out? So basically, what I'm looking at in that question is, even though the chapter doesn't tell specifics on that, the chapter that you're reading, chapter 7, is on marketing, and the feature series is mentioned on page 218. So you will find some material there. But I'm also looking at the cumulative body of information that we've covered thus far, and kind of taking that and analyzing it and putting your thoughts with it and synthesizing so that you can give us that answer. Um, I know that in looking at this, I reflect on when I do read magazines, and like you, many of us will pick up a magazine at the airport, when we're traveling, in a doctor's office. Sometimes if you're going to the beach or on a vacation, it's even though we have so many different technological options, like I have my iPad here. Sometimes, though, if I'm going out where maybe I'm going to be outdoors and it's wet and the weather's damp, and I just don't want the cumbersome feeling of carrying that, sometimes I'll want a magazine and I want to be able to physically hold it. At least that's me, and I know there are a lot of others like that. But as you review how these magazine articles are written, what I think is incredible is to think that what started as an idea and then continued on as a researched project and then became a written piece has now wound up in this textbook, and now you're reading it and hopefully being inspired to write great things yourself. So I hope many of you will aspire to have the written word put down. I mean, I know that my father, who passed away in '06, wrote many letters to the editor in his paper. He lived in Las Vegas when he passed, but before that in Ontario, and prior to that in Philadelphia, which is where I was born. But those letters are something very precious to me. I have them digitally and the hard copies, and his words and his thoughts really meant a lot to me. And he did write some freelance work as well, so it's really something to have a piece of written material and admire it. I mean, when you think about those who study the English, modern languages, when they study literature, they're analyzing it and turning it over and reading what the critics said about it. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it really takes on a life of its own. So I'm telling you that because I had a conversation with one student by email over the weekend where I was encouraging them to think about writing. If there are things that come up that you want to write about, whether it be a letter to the editor or submitting to one of your favorite magazines or to a community newspaper, definitely try it and know that I'm available to edit it for you if you want me to edit it. You also all can start your blogs. I mean, blogs are an incredible way to get the word out there, and many people have been given job offers and paid for their blog. There's one group called Friskateers for the Friskar scissors, where they've hired women to write about their crafting. And they blog about it, and there's a phenomenon of mommy bloggers who are now they pay mommy bloggers, and they have agents, and they're writing about products, and people really value their opinions. So writing is a high calling. I always go back to the fact that the way God communicated with us is through the written word, the Bible. And to me, there's nothing that is more powerful than a written word, a strongly worded letter, a good article. Um, I think back to also as a young girl, my grandmother writing me letters all the way from Philadelphia, and how that just took me into her life and her heart and helped me to understand who she was. And even though I only met her in person a few times in my life, I feel like I know her. And so letters writing is another form of writing that this class I think could help inform for that as well. So as you're looking at this chapter, be thinking about the feature series and answer that question. Please do read the Adam and Megan story of one family's courage. That is an incredible Pulitzer Prize winner. In fact, let me just read you the beginning of it. Megan Walter carefully arranges brightly colored ornaments, 3 and 4 deep, on the Christmas tree branches within her reach. Consequently, all the branches at the 3 foot height bend toward the floor from the weight. Megan, we need to spread the ornaments out a bit more, her mother Cindy says gently, rearranging the bulbs. Members of the Walters family had hoped to be back on their ranch home for Christmas, but construction is not completed. They are trimming their tree in the Elliott's rental home on a crisp, clear night as they listen to a church service program over the radio. In the room, illuminated only by the blinking of the multicolored lights on the tree, Cindy turns on a cassette tape. It's one of the children had made for their father, Bill, 5 months earlier when they were in the hospitals, 1,100 miles apart. Okay, that lead was very descriptive. It brings you into the picture. It's a happy situation. Well, actually, as this story goes on, you'll find that the reason they were in the hospital is that there was a tragic fire, so it's very sad in many ways as you read this. Well, one thing really important to understand is that the editor of this newspaper suggested putting this happy scene and descriptive lead at the beginning of the article because it was coming out in January, right after Christmas, when many people had the glow of the holidays, and they wouldn't read an article that was started very depressing and sad about a house fire and people being in the hospital. But by placing this descriptive lead in the beginning, it actually brought readers in. And then eventually this author, Dave Curtin, won the Pulitzer Prize. So it's these kinds of skills that we're looking at developing for you, and that will sharpen your writing and enrich your writing, no matter what you're writing, whether it be a note and a birthday card, to a letter to the editor, to an article, to a very poignant letter to a child or loved one, or an epilogue, a eulogy, or whatever it might be. There are many opportunities for writing. So as you go through chapter 7, and as we prepare to get to the end of the class, do understand that I am available for edits. Sometimes on the brief assignments, I may not have commented that much, but if you have something that you want comments on, I'm editing the articles and getting those back to you, but when you want specific comments on the writing for this class, or even in the future, I have many former students who will contact me because they have a chance to do some freelance writing and they want me to review what they've done. Happy to do it. So enjoy reading the book this week, and if you have questions about the assignment, let me know. Have a blessed week. Any prayer requests also, please let me know. God bless.